Hey, I'm back at you guys again. This one's probably going to be a little faster than the other one, but I wanted to talk about obviously commencement speeches and these motivational speakers that speak particularly to black children. And one of the reasons I hate them is because they're snake oil salesmen, right? They are selling snake oil to our children. Listen, particularly for graduates of high school. If your child just graduated high school, right, and they don't know the facts about the context in which they are about to enter into the world, right? What am I saying? So let's say I'm gonna go on a safari in Africa, right, in the jungles of Africa, right? There needs to be some understanding that I have about the context. Otherwise, no matter how positive I am, no matter how much energy I have, none of those things matter when that lion comes and eats my ass up, right? So I need to know how vicious the lions are, right? How many lions are there? How prevalent are they? Where are they? Are there tigers? Are the cheetahs violent? Like, what kind of snakes exist? Like, I need to know the reality of the landscape in which I am about to enter so I can make my choices for my life and the life of the people I love with a sincere knowledge of the context, right? And then from there, I can decide what success is going to look like for myself and the people around me. But that's not what happens at these commencement speeches and these motivational speakers. That's not what they do. They don't tell you the reality of the landscape, right? Um, and the commencement speech that black children get should be nothing like the one that white children get, right? White children are getting a speech that's going to be pretty much consistent with the opportunities that they have going out there into the world, when that's just not the case for black people. So before you start motivating black children, how about you know the data about black people? How about you know that there are 900,000 black owned businesses that only supply, no, I can't remember how many black-owned businesses they are, but I do know that they only employ 900,000 black people, right? And they pay on average. There's enough money to pay them from black-owned business $7,000 a year, right? So tell black children, hey, you're gonna have to go out there and you're gonna have to work for white people, and you're gonna have to work for white people who are gonna be looking out for other white people. So you're going to have to look out for yourself in the context of working for white people, right? And you're going to have to know what that means about the decisions and choices that you have to make with your life, right? The choices and the decisions that you have to make about your life are real, and they are not based on some motivational words that come out somebody's mouth about how they did what they did. Because one of the things you need to understand is that people are never, and when I say never, I mean never, they are never fully honest with you about how they got where they are. And so they feeding you a bunch of bullshit about what you need to do and how you need to go out there and be positive and take on the world. Like, um, that's why that's why we really need a cultural institutions that reflect our experience. We need cultural institutions that reflect our experience, right? Black children need to be taught. Like, if you're a black boy, you need to be taught. You need to be mindful of other black men. Black men are dangerous. They're killing you at a rate that other people aren't being killed at. We need to tell them about their relationship with the police. As a result of this violence amongst black men, police are more likely to kill you for nothing. How come you didn't hear that at a commencement speech? How come none of these motivational speakers said that? How come they don't talk about Trayvon or Tamir Rice, right? I hope you telling your kids about Tamir Rice, because your kid could be Tamir Rice. Or your kid could be the girl down in Mississippi who left her kid in the car and had some black teens gun her son down for no reason at all. Like, this is the reality of black people. Maybe not all black people, but all black people need to be aware of this so that we can go out there and make choices accordingly. I had these people sitting up here lying and hyping you up. That's what they doing. They bringing in hype men. These people are hype men. They ain't giving you the facts and the data, but they telling you all this positive bullshit. You need to know where you rank for real in this world so you can make decisions from that position. I ain't saying you have to stay there, but you got to know where you at. And you getting a commencement speech after you spent 13 years of your life mostly wasted in this government educational system that didn't teach you nothing about yourself, that didn't teach you nothing about your people, that didn't teach you how you've been cheated, that's telling you that you got $1 trillion in spending power in a country with $85 trillion spending power. So you broke. That $1 trillion, that's mostly in the hand of rich black people. There is no gap greater in America than the gap between poor blacks and rich blacks. So you got blacks who are your class enemies, but they ain't telling you that. Some of these people who giving you these commencement speeches is in that class of people, telling you that you can be where they are, but they ain't telling you how they got there, how they cheated and slimed their way to the top, how they took advantage of opportunities that they ain't tell nobody else about. So let's be honest with these kids instead of feeding them all this line of bullshit about what they can and can't do. When the reality is, just look at the data. Black males have the highest unemployment rate. 90% of black kids spend some time on food stamps. What's your commencement speech about, man? Where is it based out of? Did you just make this shit up? Meanwhile, we out here fucking starving, can't feed ourselves, can't house ourselves, can't clothe ourselves. Who are you talking to? 1 or 2 students in the entire crowd? Then why don't you pull them 1 or 2 students aside and talk to them and let somebody tell these other kids the reality of their life? That they're going to have to work hard. And even if they work hard, they still might not end up with shit. So they better get their politics right. They better know who they need to be voting for. They better know what policies they need to be enacting. These are things that they need to know. So you live in these cities where you can't get reparations, but you can get billionaires to get cities to give billions of dollars to help them build these funky ass stadiums. But these people sitting up here telling you this bullshit. I'm telling you, they're your enemies. And don't let your enemies talk to you like that. Look at them like they're the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh is telling you how great it is for you to be a slave and that you too one day can be a master. Right? But remember what it cost Moses' people for him to be a master. And he had to wake up and see reality.